Evening, everybody. How are you doing? Chris, how are you doing?
Yeah, so I am actually doing something work orientated. I'm trying to be clever, but you caught me out a little bit there. I'm trying to send Joe something that hopefully will benefit everyone. It will be whizzing its way to you in 2 seconds, Joe.
Well, we've got quite a few different fish tonight, haven't we? Really interesting mix of stuff, and one particularly at the end that I think we've previewed that people might have seen on our Facebook channels or on our other groups. There's a very nice achiever at the end of here, isn't there? That for some reason we've signed off a price that I think people are going to be happy with at the end of here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the fish when we come around to it, but yeah, it was a little bit of a weapon. So
yeah, some exciting pieces.
How you been getting on, mate? What you been up to?
Yeah, so today I've been working on next week's auction koi, trying to get a bit ahead with that. Been doing bits on the magazine as well today, and then speaking to some dealers. So it's been a mixed bag today of stuff to do, but it's been fun. And I'm excited about the upcoming articles in the next mag, and I had some good responses recently over the last mag that I think people have got. So yeah, it's been an interesting couple of months speaking to some new authors as well.
Come through this morning.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. It's
odd because even though like I kind of see all the design files and blah blah blah, there's nothing beats it coming through the door and sort of opening it up. Like, yeah, I really like that spread, the NND one, the Prestige. Yeah, isn't it?
Well, I think if anybody's been watching the channels as well on Matt's Facebook, or some of the results of them look pretty insane as well, don't they?
Mate, honestly, like, I know I'm probably a bit, well, I'm not biased because I could be pretty subjective when it comes to fish. If I think it's good, it's good. It doesn't matter whether it's come through our hands or not. And if I don't think it's good, I'll give my opinion as well for what it's worth. But yeah, he's really landed on his feet with that batch of fish. So if you check out issue 27, Koi Talk, you'll know what we're talking about. There's an article in there about an NND project that one of our dealers took on, and what a result he's had. So watch this space.
And before we go any longer, might as well reach out to a couple of people about what we've been doing recently. Just pull this from Facebook. So anybody who's watching this right now on TV, if you get your camera out and scan this code, that'll take you to a invite link of our WhatsApp group, and I'll put a link in the chat as well for you guys. But been some interesting pieces go on this WhatsApp group recently. I think you've been heading that up, haven't you?
So it's just a bit more informal, nothing intense. There's no chat or blurb on there. It's just going to be little snippets of raw sort of footage of the farm, some fish that we like, and all round just bits and pieces that we think people would be interested in, but perhaps they don't make for sort of social media content, for example. So it's a good way to keep up to date with us. I'm certainly not spamming the group. It's just maybe 1 or 2 posts a day, and then if anyone's got any questions, you then got sort of like a direct line to us, so to speak. So we'll see how it goes. It's growing nicely in numbers, so hopefully people enjoy it. So
yeah, fantastic. So I guess that leads us to the first fisher tonight. Are you ready?
Born ready, mate.
So starting off with this little cheeky piece from Otuka. We haven't had Gomo on here very often, are we? It's not something that's we haven't had loads of these on the farm, and I think you mentioned in the preview for this, they're always quite hard to source, aren't they?
Yeah, I think I told you a little story about one of my best experiences in Japan was sort of selecting a pond full of Otuka Gomo, and they're for me they're like a really underrated fish. I think you got fish like that. You just look at that Shiroji,
Yeah.
epic, sort of like three-step Maritain-esque kind of marsh pattern. Yeah, just quirky as anything in my opinion. Really nice skin. Yeah, okay. It's size-wise. I think you mentioned as well. You know, you've never seen sort of like a true jumbo example, but
Mhm.
not every fish is really designed for that. I think a lot of people go, you know, they buy Tosai or Nisai, but sort of, I don't know, 30, 35 cm, and then they go, can it get to 90 centimeters?
Yeah.
That's a big leap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very few
Yeah.
fish get to those sort of sizes, and some people just sort of pluck those figures out of thin air as if like 90 plus cm fish are really attainable, and any fish can get to that sort of size. Whereas, yeah, that they're becoming more and more abundant. But the shipping alone is on a 90 plus cm fish is outrageous. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a really nice little piece. With Garomo, I tend to find like it's really hard to get that nice Shiroji. See many examples where you've got nice Shiroji. Sometimes the Benny kind of almost leaches into that white ground, whereas with this one, it's quite um, well. The Shiroji is really good on it. It's one of the key features, isn't it?
yeah,
Um,
super clean. I think that sort of although I tell people not to get lured into a head pattern, but when the
yeah,
rest of the fish is of a good sort of quality, then it just enhances the overall image. I don't think anyone could deny, uh, you know, they don't get slightly drawn in by that sort of quirky head pattern. So I only bid it because I thought it would make 90 cm. Well, you never know, Ian. You never know, mate. It may well do. It might
where
be
there's a
the
will, there's a way.
keep feeding them. Yeah. Transition from the head as well. Nice posture in that head. So that sort of nice wide mouth, tapering head
Mm,
shape, and also even at a young age, that sort of transition on the head Shiroji to the body.
yeah,
That you can sort of tell with this type of fish. You see it in the video a little bit more. Not a lot of people talk about that sort of transition from the head, which can be sort of quite a fleshy appearance on some fish, moving into the scaled side of the fish. We kind of want a seamless transition as much as possible. Now, you get fish at different times of their development where that will differ. You know, whether it be, for example, Shiro Utsuri might be amassing sumi in the body, so you can find that the Shiroji goes off a little bit, or the fish is male and it's going through that transitional phase, or you know, there's lots of different variables. But a fish like that, even at a young age, you can see that Shiroji is in pretty damn good condition.
yeah.
With that nice little three step. They're just one of those varieties that I'm not sure if everyone gets them, but yeah, for me, it's a really clean uh, little Garomo.
Yeah, I think these can look spectacular when they're good ones, particularly, and the colours on them are really vibrant. It's particularly like in this example. I think this is. Do you class this as an Igaroma rather than
Mm.
like a?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I thought so. But we've got Ian in at 60 at the minute, so if anyone wants to bid on this one, we'll take increments of a fiver. Otherwise, we'll look to move this one on. Seems like Ian's walking away with the first fish of the evening so far.
so
And
we should probably just do the boring bit. They're
mm,
subject to VAT, the bids as well, guys. So just keep that in mind.
yeah, so subject to the usuals on the auction, and then the fixed price stuff is what you pay, is what you're paying, including fees. Is that right?
That's it. Yeah, so fixed price listings will run for anyone that's new. We'll run you through it, but yeah, it's fixed price listings are inclusive of fees and VAT. The only thing you might have on top is a little bit of shipping if you want direct delivery. So Matt, how we doing, Matt? In at 70 quid for this one. Seeing some value at that. So back to you, Ian, if you're interested. We're looking for 75 to keep this one alive. I mean, I'm not being funny. It's worth that every day of the week, but
Yeah,
he's one of those varieties that I think is maybe a little bit misunderstood.
yeah. Clean examples like this, not particularly cheap, are they? In retail, but like you say, so they are probably one of the less common varieties out there as well. So yeah,
I think
be
they've got
interesting.
like a cult following.
Mm,
People that like them really like them, but they're not the easiest to fish. They're not the easiest fish to read for hobbyists. So maybe that in that sense, bit off-putting. You know how some varieties, they have such a transition, or the knowledge or the information just isn't out there as to how they develop and move forward. So I wonder whether that sometimes has something to do with this variety. Plus,
yeah.
you've got bucket loads of options to choose from either.
No, it's true. So we got Matthew at 70. Anyone else going to be bidding on this one, or should we look to close this one up? I'll play the video again. Yeah, so a mix of auction fish and fixed price fish tonight, guys. Again.
Skin is proper clean, isn't it?
Mm.
Oh wow, 16 requests to the group.
There you go.
Did something.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it sort of like UK based for now, guys, just to let everyone know. And then we'll probably expand as the sort of koi wholesale empire moves across the globe.
All right, guys, I think we're coming to a close on this one. Anybody else interested? We'll play the video again, and then we'll wrap this one up and move on.
Yeah, cool.
Going once.
Ian, fair enough, mate.
It always seems to happen with the first fish. It always seems to go a little bit undervalue, and then everybody starts tuning in after finishing the tea. But well done to Matt at Hawaii Koi. We'll put your name down on that one. Well
Nice
done.
fish, mate.
Yeah,
Nice
nice.
fish,
Right, sound. So let's move on to fish B. And I think this one got a bit of love on Facebook, to be fair. I had a couple of people, more reacting to this one. So, yeah, Otsuka Nisai, a little bit more expensive. This one at 100 quid, but obviously bigger koi. And just look at the quality of that. I'll let you wax lyrical about this one, mate.
Well, honestly, it's one of those varieties in the last couple of years that, I like them, don't get me wrong, but they're relative out of all the varieties you could think of. This is time and time again, got any Otuka Matsuba. For whatever reason, they have just really, really captured the imagination of hobbyists around the UK, and Otsuka is the man, the farm to go to with this variety. And I think that sort of depth of colour that he's able to produce is just sort of, unlike any Otuka Matsuba on the market. He is a bit of a wizard when it comes to certain varieties, Otuka Matsuba, Asagi, Kage style fish, to name a few. Super, super talented farm, and he just seems to be able to dominate with this variety. I know a lot of people sort of see examples online and in the magazines and whatnot. But yeah, more often than not, they're from Otsuka Koi Farm. He is an absolute wizard at producing this variety. So yeah, nice clean head. See that sort of effect on the scales. Nice scale alignment as well. You're just anticipating that to get enhanced, the pigment as it ages. So you get more of that sort of Matsubamon effect within each scale. Nice long head, good body line as well. You look at that picture there, it's just, yeah, pretty faultless, to be honest with you. We just need to feed, grow, nice skin quality, all round, yeah, nice attribute.
Yeah, I think with these, you know, we've just been speaking about like the Goromo, which is not a variety like famed for growing big. I can say that like I've seen quite a few of these grow to quite a decent
They fly,
size.
yeah.
Yeah, and with these, I think there's possibly genetics behind them to grow jumbo more than say other varieties that we might feature tonight. So, you know, if that's something that's part and parcel of your thinking, won't be something that would put me off. And you
Yeah,
know,
I mean, they've also got Asagi genetics in there somewhere along the line, so that's where you get that sort of length on the body.
yeah,
And then obviously, yeah, they just seem to grow with ease, and then that enhanced color within the scale just deepens as well. So it's kind of like, I don't know, obviously it needs to remain clean, so you don't want it too overbearing at a young age. So it's sort of like look at Akamatsuba in a similar way to the way I look at Asagi, in terms
yeah,
of you don't want the really, really finished ones at a young age.
mm-hmm.
They're the ones that become a bit cluttered and a bit messy as they grow older. So you kind of want them where they still have to consolidate this color within the scales. And then you just pick on other feet, you know, the skin, the pigment. Is there consistency within the pigment? Is the body good? Is the body line good? So yeah, with that in mind, not too different in terms of selecting them.
Yeah,
Sort of see alongside that dorsal line as well, that sort of almost like luminous
yeah,
Benny colour.
yeah.
So you sort of see that skin sort of quality really sort of rips through at that point as well. So yeah, nice scale alignment, all in all. Yeah.
120 quid at the minute with Dave Bramwell is, yeah, surprised at that one. It's a nice fish, this. For the money, it's just a no-brainer, really. Yeah, a few of these are going to be listed as Nisai, but they're very, very young Nisai, aren't they, Chris?
Yeah.
Pretty much only just turned Nisai.
Yeah, obviously, I think it always provides a bit of contention between sort of breeder, hobbyist, dealer, you name it. But yeah, I didn't want any smart asses sort of coming on. So yeah, they are young Nisai. So yeah, no getting away from that.
Rachel had a few fish from us recently. How are you doing, Rachel? But yeah, 120 quid with Dave Bramwell. Play the video again if anyone wants to get involved. Now's the time.
I think we'll look to call this one, buddy, after the video stops.
Yeah. Out on his own. Dave Bramwell.
Oh.
Going once, twice, and sold. Well done, mate. Nice fish for the money, 120 quid. If you can message Chris at Koi Wholesale with your name and number, we'll get that sent to your preferred dealer. We'll move on to C. Well done.
Number C.
Number C. Yeah. I think you kind of spotted this fish in one of the ponds and you were like, how on earth is that in there? Pretty much is what you told me. I think this one, it's kind of gone a bit under the radar, hasn't it, at the farm, this one?
Well, I think where it's gone outside, it's just conditioned up really nicely. That Benny plate is just, yeah, superb. real simple style pattern, super white skin. And just where they've come off that food and gone into that slightly cooler water, all that sort of not stretch pigment, but that skin quality and that pigment quality really starts to pop. And that's kind of what I refer to as, you know, when you're sort of conditioning fish. When you're trying to push fish on, you sort of stretch that pigment, and not all fish can withstand that. So that's where the pigment sort of fades a little bit, or the white is not quite as crisp. And then you take the big fish off the food, often in a bit of cooler water, then that mass of the body just shrinks a little bit. Those pigment receptors go a little bit closer together, and that's where you get that sort of real popping sort of color effect. So yeah, Sakai 2-step, 50 quid start bid. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, lovely fish. This really clean. Got a couple of people saying that my mic is a bit weird. Can you hear me all right?
I mean, yeah, it's annoying. I wouldn't say it's weird, but yeah.
Okay, one sec. I'll try and sort it.
Absolutely. And Dorsal Fin Club, number 1. Simon S. How do you select a preferred dealer? I.e., where can I find a list? Couldn't see on the website. Yeah, annoyingly, we've got a bit of a gremlin on the website, on that page. The website's been updated and it's caused a bit of a coding issue for some reason just on that page. So I believe my colleague Steve put a blog post out the other day. Is that right, Joe? I think with the we've lost you completely now, Joe. Can't hear you, Joe.
Oh, can you hear me now? Is this work? Is this better?
No.
All right, one sec.
So yeah, I'll see if I can find that for you quickly, Simon. Yeah, it was slightly frustrating the other day. We'll try and find that, but basically we've got a dealer network around the UK. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and bid, we're doing direct delivery anyway for 30 quid from for a box. You know, fish this size, you can fit sort of multiple fish in there. So a lot of the time at the moment, people are just sort of putting the transaction through the dealer, and then we're shipping direct to the hobbyist. So yeah, that's an option as well. So I had a couple of messages come in, Joe, saying we've got quite a severe lag.
Right, okay.
It's one of those things, isn't it? There's not a huge amount we could do about that. So yeah, I know refreshing always has a big impact. So yeah, if you're up to date, then yeah, by all means, click the refresh button. Hopefully, it'll pull you up to date. That's the trouble. You wouldn't know if you were lagging, though, would you?
No, you're just watching us in the past.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I don't know if my microphone's any better now, but
no, it's pretty naff, mate. Is there any chance you could just? Have you got speaker on the? Does that work?
Yeah, I've been trying to use my webcam, but you said that was bad as well. One sec.
Oh man, live. Can't win. I mean, don't ask me.
I don't know what's gone wrong with it.
Don't ask me for any technical advice. Michael Thompson in at 75. Killer Shisui Kikasui in the profile picture there. Michael Thompson.
Yeah.
It's only a very small picture. It looks like Kikasui to me, unless it's Yamato. But yeah, really nice. So we're sat at 75. Sakai Fish Farm. I mean, he's just a bit of a no-brainer at that sort of price point. It's got the body attributes to ascertain a decent size. So for anywhere near sort of this sort of price point, it's just yeah, a bit nuts. Sounds a bit mental to say this, but it is a bit cliche. But yeah, it's big fish style pattern. I think you're going to see it. This style of pattern is going to be much more suited to a bigger body. It's going to make more sense.
Yeah, I think once you see the white grounds coming up on the side, as you always do, your little hand motion, that second dan will probably be a bit more pronounced, and I think the fish will really come alive at that second dan rather than this first dan. And the Benny just finishing right before the tail as well is like a big benefit, I think, as well of this fish. But yeah,
I'm starting to think maybe it's my speaker now, not yours.
I don't know whether I'm coming through your microphone.
Oh,
I don't know if that's it, but anyway.
mate, don't ask me.
Oh, here we go. I hear Ricky's training a new MD in Japan at the minute.
Yeah, having a whale of a time by the looks of it. So, yeah, it's yeah. For a little man, 7 years old, he's had some pretty honourable moments already out there. Some of the harvest events, and blessing the mud ponds. Yeah, what an opportunity for the little man. So yeah, seen a few pictures of him. His face is absolutely like beaming. So obviously we see him around the farm quite a lot, and yeah, he's always sort of, oh, look at this, look at this. So yeah, no, it's cool to see him out there enjoying himself, and the home of Pokemon, I believe, as well, which he is a massive fan of. So no doubt, you know, not just the koi are going to be costing a few quid. It's the Pokemon shop as well in Tokyo, no doubt. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. No, I think he's making memories out there with his dad, isn't he? It's nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, we got Paul in at 100 on this one. If anyone wants to scupper Paul, last chance. Should we wrap this one up when this finishes?
Yeah, I think Paul, you got yourself another little buy there, mate. That's just a case of feed, watch it grow, and yeah, it's far more suited to bigger frame. So beautifully simple, aren't they, Kohaku? So yeah.
Yeah. How do you take the pictures and put them on a blue background? That koi guy asks. Magic.
Yeah.
Well done, Paul. That's a brilliant little buy. That. Well done, mate.
That's like asking the Colonel what flavour spices he does.
Yeah, it's kind of a trade secret, isn't it? It's our speciality, I'd say.
It's bloody annoying, is what it is.
Correct. All right, guys. So on to fish number D. Dainichi Matsuba, not exactly a common entity on the farm again, is it? I mean, I think we've had some key Matsuba from the Botan line from Dainichi, and then these are the first ones I've seen in Doitsu format, but yeah, really nice.
Yeah, so Marasei or Hirasawa Koi Farm, I mean, I think we probably had maybe 18 people, I think. Sorry, 18 pieces we've had this year of this variety. So yeah, they're not particularly common at all. Yeah, they're a bit of a Marmite variety, but people that do like them, you've not really got too many options to select from. So yeah, what we're looking for in this variety, yeah, obviously a nice tone of yellow that's consistent throughout, high degree of metallic shine, and also that sort of line, that Sagoke line, a dorsal scale line arrangement along the back. That's typically going to get darker as it ages, so you get a bit more of that contrast. So you get that stark sort of sumi depth within the scales, and obviously that light yellow colour within the body. So you get a bit more contrast building up with age.
Yeah, lovely little fish, this. Really clean.
They hold them up to the sky on a clear day, then Photoshop their hands out after.
Is that how we get them on a blue background?
Yeah.
It'd be quite an interesting test to see how good you can hold a fish straight.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Well, we can try it, but I don't think. Not convinced the results are going to be very good.
Yeah, so 150 quid start bid on this one, guys. If anyone wants to get involved, it doesn't look like we've got much interest on this one, so we'll wait and see what's occurring.
Bit of a polarizing variety, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of love them or hate them.
Yeah, but the Mizu Ogon, which is very similar that we had last week, was really popular, wasn't it? So it's interesting.
So I think we'll move on from this one, mate.
Yeah, if we've got no one interested in, we'll move on.
If anyone retrospectively is interested, then just drop us a message on Facebook or email me at Chris at Koi hyphen. No, what is it? Chris at Koi hyphen hot. Yeah, there you go. That's easier. Yeah.
Chris at Wholesale. Now this is a fish that I'm really intrigued about because this is another one I think came from the same pond where that Kohaku was in, where I think the skin has changed and maybe at one point we were moving this fish on to our dealers and for whatever reason we've managed to sit on it for a bit of time and I guess the sumis maybe started coming up but yeah, when you got this one and put it in the bowl, I was like, flipping heck. You know, a Sanke like this is my kind of style Sanke. And I think there's a lot more development yet to do in that skin, but I'm interested to hear what you think.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of had the same transition period where it's come out of the growing ponds. It's had that little bit of time in slightly cooler water, and that Benny starting to pop. And then all of a sudden, you start to see the sumi emerging all over the fish on lots of white ground. So, you know, this Subo style sumi, it's going to be quite this delicate, old school Sanke placement sumi. You know what I mean? Like a lot of modern day Sanke, they're getting these sort of heavier areas of sumi building up on the skin. But yeah, for me, real delicate fish in the making. Nice body line from Sakai. You know, these Sanke lineages. The budget does not go too far. Shiroji, very good. And yeah, I think it's just going to have a complete transitionary period in the next 6 months. That sumi is just going to come up and it's just going to transform the fish completely. One thing that does give me confidence is it's coming quite quickly. You can see on the head that sumi just off the head. In the flesh, the depth of it is very, very intense. So obviously, typically my brain goes, that's the style of sumi you're going to get typically throughout the fish. So obviously you see it there on a bit more of a close-up. You then envisage that fish lacquered in sort of delicate Sanke sumi all along the fish, all along white ground. Nice bit of sashi at the front of that second down there. Yeah, all in all, yeah, really tidy fish and type of fish that I like because it can, well, bar it sort of falling to pieces, it can only get better in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It only improves from this point, providing, you know, the Benny doesn't fall to pieces, which I don't for 1 second anticipate it will. So yeah, with that in mind, just a sound investment. And not to make Koi sound like a business transaction, but essentially, if you're invested in Koi, you want to know that it's, well, certainly for me, unless I'm having a real punt, I like to have some sort of knowledge of the fish who's going to improve.
Yeah, I think for me, like that sumi style where it's almost like stepping stones is really desirable, and that little bit of sumi just to the right of the dorsal, as you look at it from our perspective, is really perfectly placed on that bit of shiroji between on the right hand side across the dorsal, because if there wasn't any sumi there, that'd be a big gap on the fish, and it's coming, and I'd be very surprised if somebody gets this and in a couple of years this isn't really kind of the sumis, like you said, coming up at a rate of knots. And yeah, I just think it's probably a pattern that suits a fish of this size, but even will look more impressive as the fish grows out as well. Like the head pattern goes just far enough for it to be. There's a question about it being a Kindai Sanke or a Kindai style Sanke. I don't think you'll almost notice that it's either when the sumi comes up. I think it'll be quite a well balanced Sanke by the time the sumi comes up. I can understand why he's asking that question, because right now it does look a bit bare without the sumi, but I think between the first and second dan, there's going to be sumi there that kind of covers up a large proportion of that patch, and then also on the right hand side.
Well, it's sort of like we're sort of going. We've almost gone full circle with Showa now. We started off typically Showa being very textbook, sumi heavy style fish, moving towards a Kindai style, where people are looking at a fish that essentially doesn't have a lot of sumi or beni on, Sanke-esque, if you will. Now we're going round again to people wanting these full style patterns, but typically from like a Sanke point of view, if you look back to all the the founding lineages, the Jinbei, Sadazo, Matsunosuke, etc., the sumi style seems to have different traits. Obviously, you got sort of like some Taniguchi Sanke that we had in earlier on in the year. People were sort of saying, are they Showa? Because the sumi was so blocked up, so profound on a Sanke that people were like, that's not in, that doesn't equate to Sanke style for me. So it just varies from individual to individual. The traits from different breeders and different lineages change slightly as well. Someone just messaged me. They'll know where they are, telling me to smile. I'm smiling inside, mate. It's my boy's koi there. Nice fish for the future. That pretty much sums it up, mate, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I'm really excited about this one. I think it's got a really nice shape. Pec fins all proportionate. I almost think there's a tiny bit of tejime starting in the tail as well. Just like the first inkling of it.
That will just start to pop up.
Yeah, it's just an absolute no-brainer. But we say that about a lot of fish on here. So 160 quid. Anyone going to take us any further on this one? And Sakai lineage as well, which is not to be sniffed at. Just that Benny quality again. It's very rare we put a fish up on here which has got bad Benny quality, like in terms of like the vividness and depth of it. We very rarely have like fish that have weak Benny. I think that's.
I can find one for you if you want.
No, I think it's the way that Ricky it feeds, and also like the color in the water, the mucus health, that all these kind of things in terms of the fish husbandry that goes into it to promote healthy Benny. And
well, what counts is what's good for the fish. I think that's sometimes the contradiction for a lot of hobbyists, because clear water is not really conducive for Benny quality.
Yeah.
But what's the point of having a nice pond with a window and you can't see more than 2 feet of water? So it's catch-22 all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to be letting this one go for an absolute snip. So I'll play the video one last time. Any last bids need to come now. What an opportunity this is. I'm nervous for you.
Nervous for me?
No, I'm nervous for the guy who's got this at 160. Well, mate, 160 quid. Wow. Well done. There we go. We'll move on to the next fish. Something a bit different this time. This is a Benikikiru.
Now, you're not a Deutsch fan per se, but when I netted this, I think even you went, wow, that's pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. This is stunning, this. I think this is one of the best ones we've put on auction, this. Really nice.
Got a bit of everything, this fish. Skin quality, pigment contrast, that sort of line, that scale alignment along the back of the fish. Just a very, very, what's the word? Striking fish, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, I can see that Radoslav Lumiliev put a bid in a minute late from when we did it. It's obviously, like Chris said, there is a bit of a lag, so sorry about that, but we did call it what we saw on the screen at the time.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But sorry, mate, I cut you off there.
Oh, no, that's fine. So, yeah, this is a fixed price listing, guys. So if you are in, literally just stick in the comments. And if in the event there's more than one person involved, then we'll do the spinny wheel thing, and whoever's name it lands on wins the fish. So this is 195 inclusive of VAT and fees. So yeah, all in all, trying to picture this sort of at a dealership. I think if it's swimming around in sort of the tanks 195, it's not there for much longer than a day.
Yeah, proper stunning little fish, this.
Mm.
I love that head pattern as well. Like it's not a traditional head pattern, is it? But yeah, it's nice. It's kind of I like the Benny style on this. The way it's like banded across. It's like a really unique. You know, if it was a Kohaku, it'd look absolutely dreadful. But on this, it kind of works, doesn't it? The way that it's like.
I think that's the thing with sort of Deutsch varieties, metallic varieties in general. You know, a lot of them aren't going to stroll into koi shows and take major awards. So they're really quite a visual kind of fish. So the striking sort of appearance to them is quite important. The sharpness and definition of the pattern, the contrast of the pigment, and then all striking skin as well. You've got Motoguru in the fins, formed perfectly in both sides. It's killing me to say it, but you know, with the influx of windows, that's another aspect to looking at fish. Obviously, where you can sort of patterns that roll down below the lateral line, and you get these swirling kind of definite patterns with that sort of weird definition to them. Just adds another dimension to looking at the fish, doesn't it?
So we've got Alan that's in on this one.
So I've had a message saying there is a bit of a severe lag, which is it's unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah, not a lot we can do with that, guys. If you want this, get in nice and early in advance. Otherwise, you might rue not being in early. But yeah, really nice little fish, really vivid colours.
Another variety we were talking about the other day that I'm not sure if people truly get them.
I just don't think you see many examples of like a really high quality, so it's hard to envision what they're going to look like. You know, at 50 centimeters, for example, they're just not as common. There you go. Yeah, I suppose. I think we need to do an article on Doitsu varieties, don't we? Doitsu appreciation.
Yeah, I think they are I think I've said this a few times. There's one variety that a few breeders have said when I've said like, "What's the hardest variety to breed?" A lot of them, like a few of them, said Benikiko.
Yeah.
Just for the deformity rate and the difficulty in getting like the quality of all the pigments and the stability, and to create that variety, they've had to really cock up a lot of things in order to try and generate. So when you do get a real good one, they command big money, mate. Make no mistake.
Yeah.
Like they really do. You probably have a look in the Nagata breeders auction in the not too distant future. You'll see some Benikiko in there from the likes of Ikarashi, and they will go for serious money.
Yeah. Well, I think we've only got Alan in on this one, so I think
No wheel.
one last time. No wheel again. I know Chris's whole week is spent looking forward to me spinning the wheel, so
I sort of come up with an idea, and I've already used it a few times. Oh,
Sally Price, well done.
Made my evening, Sally.
Oh, do you know? I'm just having a look. I can change the after the spin, the sound effect. We can customize the spin noise.
Wow.
Let's hope it's not something rude.
Well, yeah, I think the production values may go up or down a notch here.
Well, we've got 2 people in, so I get to test out the new sound effects in the if there's nobody else in. We'll play this video and then see what we've got. Anyone else want to be on the wheel? Otherwise, we'll spin it after this video. Sally and Alan, 50-50 chance. Here we go then. Looks like we've only got the 2, so I will share my screen and we'll spin the wheel. Sally.
Sally.
Well done.
Wow.
There you go. Can't get much better than that, can you?
Yeah,
well done, Sally.
Unbelievable. Well done, Jeff.
Thank you. I'm proud of that one.
Well done, Sally. Commiserations, Alan.
Yeah, commiserations, and we will move on. Still some more opportunities. Huracan Showa. Auction format, this one, guys. So starting at 150, 36 centimeters. This one's grown considerably compared to some of the Otuka Showas, I'd say. I think obviously there's probably some bigger ones on the farm, but this has been quite a good grower.
So I don't know whether you've been keeping half an eye on the WhatsApp group, but I sold far more finished Showa earlier on the WhatsApp group than this. But this one is going to have pretty radical transformation moving forward. Sumi is going to meander all over this fish, all over it. Benny quality is very good. Motoguru in both fins. Got quite a heavy Dainichi genetic influence on the Odukan, this particular Odukan Showa lineage. So you get quite a lot of the sort of Dainichi-esque characteristics. I see a few people online have been saying that they're Dainichi koi from Odukan, that, let's get that clarified. They've got Dainichi genetics in the parent line. But you get attributes from the Dainichi genetics without the price tag.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, Joe. Stick Dainichi on that, and you probably can buy its right fin for
Yeah, 100%.
So this is just one of these sort of I don't know, kind of areas that you can take advantage of expertise and years of watching, developing, growing different breeders show up. I think everyone mentioned when they come in, the Benny on these was a little bit underwhelming, but that is atypical of Odukan Kosai. They do look a bit underwhelming when they're young. And I think even the most hardy sort of hobbyist would have gone, not for me. But it's knowing that Benny thickens at quite a rate. And then obviously with this, it's just you can see the sumi sat from the back of the fish to the front. It's just going to complement this fish. Again, another fish, providing nothing dramatic happens, that sumi development is only going to enhance and improve this koi.
And these have only just been moved outside pretty much. These have come in, been pushed really hard. I think they were brought into us about 15 to 18 centimeters, so this is nearly doubled in size in 3 or 4 months, I presume. I mean, I'm guessing, but I can't be far off with that.
No, not very much. Yeah.
It's not had a massive amount of conditioning time, this fish. So, I think in the right pond, this could be a real stunner.
Type of shower that if I could get my pond back again one day, bloody kids, it's the type of shower that I would personally, because it's a fish that perhaps dealers don't get. It's a fish perhaps hobbyists don't even get, to be honest with you. But when you're invested in fish like this, it's not what you see now. It's what's going to occur in sort of 2-3 years' time. Even little things like you see that second dan, as we're looking at the fish, there's that small patch of Benny, a third dan, if you will. As that grows, that sashi retracts and tightens up, that sumi forms. That's just going to be another pattern dimension to the fish. It's just going to, like I said, providing that everything stays, body line, belly pigment, etc., stays as it is, this fish can only improve in quality, which makes it a good investment in that sense.
And you can see the depth of that Benny as well.
It's conditioned up really quickly. Actually, it's a good point you made there.
Just needs a bit more time. And the right shower's not one that I think you can rush either. I don't think good shower peak until 3 or 4 years old. If they do peak at 1 or 2 years old, the chances are they might have, not look as good 3 or 4. Is that a fair statement?
Well, I think you get quite finished shower, don't you? And they're the ones that are a bit easier to read. From a pattern sense. You know what I mean? When you get that textbook sort of shower style pattern, do they always make the best bigger koi? Not necessarily not, but also not necessarily. Obviously, it's like, how often do you see Baby Champion go on to do anything in the big sizes?
Yeah.
Very rarely. Two different types of fish. You've got the finished fish for now and the near future, and then you've got pieces like this, which are, moving forward. It's going to move through the gears and do the business. It just depends whether you're a bit more of an instantaneous kind of guy or gal, or you've got a bit of patience.
But 150 quid. We've only got one person in, so I guess we'll play the video again and then look to move on. Got a couple, I think the last 3 pieces after this, which are all pretty special pieces as well as this one. But Motor Guru starting in the fins as well.
You get certain people that will hang up and say, it needs more white on the face, etc. It's just not at this sort of price point for that sort of quality. It doesn't even come into consideration for me.
I didn't even consider that. I'm just expecting that sumi to be really
I feel like
powerful.
I feel like I can hear someone in the ether somewhere saying, "Oh, it needs more white on the face."
I totally agree with you. Yeah, there will be someone out there, but I can almost see this like the whole left-hand side of the head. I think will be black. You can see the sumi underlying, and I think there's going to be a red window above its right eye. But I think the rest of the face will be pretty deep black, and I think that'll be impressive in itself. To be fair, I think obviously the one question mark I've got is that Sashi, in the first Dan, if that is going to tighten up, that's the only question mark. But what I would say, at 170 quid, you know, the first of all, it might well tighten up, and second of all, you've got Sumi right next to there, and the chances are that Sumi will cover across it as well. So 170 quid with Neil. Steve's out.
That's the thing with Showa. For me, why they're so popular is that they're such a forgiving variety.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's not a lot of areas to hide with Kohaku or Sanke, for example. Showa, generally speaking, if Sumi starts to pop up left, right, and centre, generally speaking, not always, but as a rule of thumb, it only serves to improve or better the fish. So with that in mind, it's just one of those fish where you just go, yeah, it's a sound investment in that sense.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
let's play this one last time then, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, super fish. Really like that.
Neil Williams, 170 quid, looking like he's going to take it. Well done, mate. 170 quid to Neil Williams.
Yes.
Right, so we'll move on to the next one. I'm really excited about this one.
It was Joe's special, wasn't it?
Yeah, this one was one that it had to. This is one that I've really pushed to go on, and actually, it was one that I feel like has been overlooked by a few dealers, because this was part of the harvest for the Otuka pond, and yeah, it's just so clean and so tidy. Really nice. Not a traditional pattern whatsoever, but yeah. Otuka Kohaku as well. What's your thoughts on Otuka Kohaku?
Well, it's not sort of my instantaneous breeder that springs to mind when I sort of think Kohaku breeder, where do I go? But the guy is just mad talented at producing. I mean, you've seen the variation in his mix.
Yeah.
And none of them are like poor quality. Like, generally speaking, whatever he sort of puts together is quite tidy. So obviously he does quite a bit of, well, not quite a bit, he does Showa. So there's a chance that there's somewhere on the line is sort of Showa and Goshki are quite sought after. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Kohaku are in the mix somewhere on the line. So you can't, I mean, anything with a button nose does draw in a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. Just really, it's obviously got a little bit more technicality to it, this fish, in terms of like vision. I think you got to have a vision for this fish. That small break in the second down on the right hand side, that slither of like single scales down there, I think is going to make this koi. And also the almost like the third dan, not to the right hand side of the dorsal, obviously splitting from the other dan as well. Just little white grounds that I think will be more prominent as the fish grows, because it's going to be obviously benny heavy, but when the head grows out, and yeah, just really clean as well, really clean, and a great depth to the benny. And I mean, at 100 quid, I might stick my own name in the ring for this one.
Yeah, I think at this sort of price point, that skin quality as well and tone of benny, probably see it on the video a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, just with that sort of large sort of wrapping style pattern, you can just sort of picture that on a sort of 50, 55 cm size fish. Keyword very good. Yeah, pattern formation very good. Skin very good. Yeah, probably not show style fish per se. I think people are probably looking for something a little bit more textbook in terms of the pattern structure and the body. But yeah, for me, a super example moving forward if you're looking for something a little bit different and quirky with quality.
And I showed this when I took the picture of it. I showed it to yourself and Ricky, and I think Ricky has had his eye on this fish because I remember him saying that's a nice fish. That because it's one of them that when it came out of the Otsuka pan, it was like, oh bloody hell! I think like you say, you just don't think about Otsuka with Kohaku, but it's just yeah. I think it took us all a bit by surprise, but yeah, with it being such a quirky pattern. It's whether or not people have that vision as we've spoken about. But Graham at 120 quid in, I'm going to be sad to see this one go.
Oh, it's a banger at this sort of price point, mate. Just look at that skin quality. Look at the bedding quality as well.
Yeah.
I think,
quid.
as you were sort of referring to, as that fish gets bigger, those white sort of borders are just going to become more and more pivotal to the overall image of the fish. Nice sashi keyword as well. It's just, yeah, it's a really, really pleasant fish, mate. Again, I think if we hadn't have had like, you know, the Sakai, Momotaro, Dainichi harvest at the same time, and people weren't a little bit Kohaku'd out on the day, then yeah, it's just one of those fish that probably wouldn't be hanging around. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. So with Graham, anyone else going to go in on this? Play the video again.
And that you're right as well. Those intricacies of those little white inroads along the lateral line.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that hand gesture again, but you know what I'm doing in my head. You that sort of quite key to it moving forward with the pattern impression. It's just going to break that second bit up as the body does that.
I'm going to regret not buying this, I'm telling you, 100%. I'm going to be thinking about this for ages because as soon as I saw it, I was like, I've got to have that. And I'm going to regret it. 100%.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I don't know what to say. I'm not sure if
I just don't know why I've left it to this point now. To like, I knew this was coming. Like, I took the picture, I've edited it, and I should have just said. But here we are. Hopefully, somebody takes it and looks after it. But if it means anything to anyone, it comes with the Joe seal of approval. This fish.
We're not even spoken about the dorsal thing.
Well, we don't even need to. It's just if I recommend it, it comes with the seal of approval.
I sort of, is that a tear that I can see coming down your face there?
It will be. It will be when we're bagging it up. That's for sure. 150 quid. Bloody hell.
You've got a real soft spot for this one, haven't you, mate?
I love Kohaku with a flowery pattern, and this is not a fish for now. This is a fish for 3 or 4 years old when the head grows out, and you know you've got these white grounds opening up everywhere, and the body shape's really good on it as well.
I guess sort of to the uninitiated might sort of say it's a little bit cluttered, but again, it's having that sort of foresight to kind of go, it's not a fish for now.
Yeah. And look at the head colour as well, like on the Shiroji, the head colour. It's already quite white. When it goes to this side of the bowl, it's a bit darker, but when you see it swim across the other side, it's got quite a white face already.
Well, I think at this point, it's been out of the growing ponds for maybe a week.
Yeah.
Something like that. So Yeah, it's really cute little piece, mate.
Yeah.
I can see why you're so obsessed
They
with
just
it.
don't come around very often, do they? And if they do, they're either too far gone in terms of the too heavy, or that this one's got the right balance, I think, for the future. But with Graham, 150 quid. We've got a question: what currency is it? It's pound sterling, and it is UK only. Isaac, if you're outside the UK, mate. 150 quid. Anyone else gonna break my heart?
Do you feel like this is going to be a fish that you're going to see on the show scene in years to come, and you're going to?
I don't know. I don't know whether or not it's a UK show scene fish. To be honest, although I've just waxed really lyrical about it, I think Kohaku particularly, you tend to see like 2 steps and 3 steps do really well at shows, and it seems to be what the judges are looking for is a really simplistic Kohaku. A Kohaku like this, I can't see. Like, it's my personal
You've got
way.
preference for a bit of a busier pattern.
Yeah. I like simple Sanke, but I like patterned Kohaku, and yeah, I don't know how you feel about that. Like, do you think more? Am I talking bollocks, Alan? I can't remember an example of like a crazy Kohaku that's like. I mean, you just don't see them in bigger size categories, though, do you? I guess, Alan. Maybe that's more truthful.
Well, we'll get far be it for me to. Mac's going to go to sleep. I need to plug it in quickly. Hopefully, you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can still hear you, mate. It's an interesting discussion that with Alan, to be fair, about how whether or not there is an image in mind of like a Kohaku pattern.
Right, we've got a light on now.
175 with Steve. A little bit of a bidding war going on for this one.
Sorry, when my Mac goes low on battery, it literally just switches off like that.
Well, he's still got you, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, far be it from me to sort of comment on the judge scene. Alan's certainly most best place for that side of things. I mean, it's been a while since I've managed to get round to the show side of things, but seems that like Kohaku wise, there's a lot of competition, isn't there? It seems to be one of those varieties that there's certainly a lot of them that get entered. So yeah, competition is quite stiff in that sense.
Yeah. And I wonder whether or not like the hobbyists that are growing fish to like 70 plus and beyond would invest in a patterned fish like this, or do we see many fish with similar qualities to this reach 70 to 80 centimeters, or are they the people that are spending big bucks on fish going for 2 steps and 3 steps and that kind of style? But I can't remember like a topic, There you go. Alan says, all about body and skin. This would do superbly in bigger sizes as the volume increases. Well, there you go. Can't have a better appraisal than that.
Huh? Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking to me there. Yeah, no. Well, there you go. That's far be it from anyone other than Alan to sort of make a comment on that side of things. So,
Yeah.
But I think you can see the attributes of the fish. Skin is pretty mega on that. That belly style, for me, that's the standout sort of thing with this fish. Looks like that is slightly sort of on the piss a little bit, but in the video you see it that sort of glowing skin quality moving forward. I think Alan's referring to that body mass increasing. You're going to get a bit more of those white corridors becoming a bit more apparent, a bit more intricacy to the pattern. Keywords very well formed. Sashi is at the right depth. So, yeah, all in all, I'm sure you'll get some real hardcore people that say, the belly runs into the tail a little bit. At this sort of price point, it's very, it doesn't bother me. I know you get a bit hung up with belly near the tail, don't you?
I would have, if I could have asked for anything to change on this, it would have been that. That would have been the other feature, is to have a white ground before the tail. But if we did that, you could stick another 0 on end potentially of the price.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like I'd never it can never be done. You can never retrospectively achieve something like that. You just look for the next fish, don't you? But
yeah,
fish like this with this sort of, I agree with you. Like they're not overly common. I think the preferred pattern style was a bit more stripped back, simplistic. That's the demand of the market, whether it will do well or show or not. I just think the breeders are looking for that style of pattern.
Yeah,
that's what people demand. So, but not to say that fish like this haven't got an absolute place on the show scene. Oh, there you go, you're playing it.
Yeah.
So we'll play this one last time.
Speak now or forever. What do you say? Forever hold your sins or whatever. I don't know. God.
Oh God, you're making me feel young. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Peace. 190 with, well, Graham, you're outbidding yourself there, mate. But 180. Well done, mate. That's yours.
Happy days. Well done, Graham. Beautiful fish.
So I don't know if you've got Chris's details, but email Chris at koi-wholesale with your name, number, and 34H. That'd be great. Thank you very much. Fixed price, so we might be spinning the wheel on this one, see whether or not people are interested in this one. Shisui Kawakami, 35 centimeters, 495 on this one, guys, including fees and VAT. And that's delivered to a UK dealer in our network, or for 30 quid extra straight to your door. But yeah, what a banging Shisui that is.
Wow.
So vibrant, isn't it?
Did I pick that?
I think you picked them both, this week's and last week's.
Wow.
Got a good eye.
Yeah, that is nuts, isn't it?
Proper mental, isn't it?
That tone of colour is just superb.
Almost that. What's the term for like the Beni Motoguru? There's a term that you.
Motoaka.
Motoaka. Yeah. Another little feature. Stunning.
Yeah, it's just a really visual fish. To give people a bit of a background, Kawakami Shisui, they're sort of, well, there's one guy in Japan, and it's not the breeder that has quite a few of them, and that's a guy called Ryoki Dorito. He pretty much mops them up every time they're available. There's not masses of them. Reason why he does sort of scoop them up is because of their genetic capability. They're sort of a Shisui line that is A, very, very attractive, but B, they've got a very strong body conformation for Shisui. I don't think it's particularly one of those fish that naturally comes to mind when we think about growing a Deutsch fish big or getting good body structure on them. But yeah, look at that body line for a Deutsch fish, absolutely superb. And then couple that with just that absolute striking pigment contrast. Yeah, it's a real killer fish for the pond, isn't it?
Yeah, really. It really is. The Shiroji on this, like, under the the beni is probably one of the best features, and you see it on just before the scale line. Like that shiroji is just so vivid and so strong, and then the contrast with the deep beni. Yeah, it's really nice, and I love the beni up the gill plates and around the mouth. Really quirky little head pattern, red eyes, which is something that I love in Asagi and Shisui the same. Yeah, really nice. And then the lateral line being white as well, it'll just look really like a racing stripe down the side through a window. Yeah, stunning. Really stunning.
It is mega Shisui. Probably the real purists are going to sort of dislike the fact that the Sagoke, that dorsal line of scales, doesn't travel all the way behind the head. But I think, in fairness to the pattern harmony, it's complemented quite nicely with that shiroji bar that goes along the dorsal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of is a compromise on that side of things. So really visually striking fish. So you look at that scale arrangement around the dorsal.
Yeah.
Hell of a dorsal as well, Joe. Have you not mentioned
hell of a
that?
dorsal.
Just to give some perspective with these types of fish, I was at Yamaju before the pandemic, another breeder, perhaps a bit more synonymous with Shisui and Dainichi Achiever, and I was looking at his Nisai pond, and don't get me wrong, they were crazy, and I thought, a couple of decent Nisai Shisui would be pretty tidy. Obviously, having a bit of, well, like to say I've got a bit of an eye, even if I do say so myself. Sort of selected a couple out there. Trade price 100,000 yen.
Yeah.
You're talking. I don't think people give this variety quite the attention that perhaps some breeders do in Japan. Good examples fetch big money.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Skin quality as well, we've probably not even touched on that. We've sort of spoken about all the obvious things on the fish, the quirkiness of the pattern, but that skin quality on the belly, superb.
Yeah, not a blemish on it, to be honest. And you mentioned about that shiroji bar just before the head. If the skin was really dark and grey, it would be like a big demerit to me appreciating the fish. But because the shiroji is so pure, yeah, massive bonus.
Just adds that degree of contrast, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah, 100%. Completely different to the other example we had on last week as well. Like, it shows how versatile the variety can be.
Yeah, I think that is one of the reasons why they do. There is a bit of a polarizing variety. Some of the dealers I speak to, they just can't get on board with them. But for me, you just look beyond that and look at the qualities within the variety, whether you like them or not. But I think at that price point, I'd find me a better one for that sort of price point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say. But yeah.
Me and you are going to wax lyrical about this until midnight tonight, but at the minute we've got nobody in, so might be one that we come back to if anybody's interested messaging you, or we'll stick it on the website. Not sure what you want to do with that.
Fish like that, with that quality, it'll go, mate.
We'll just keep that. We can't let it go for no less than that price. It's insane value at that. Do you want to move on?
I think so, yeah. Obviously, I know we have got a bit of a lag going on, so in the event that anyone catches up with us and we're finished, then yeah, just drop us a message, and we can catch up with you.
Moving on then to the final showstopper tonight. I know you're a bit keen on this one. Not a bad photo, if I do say so myself. That I'd say it's probably in the top one of the photos that I've taken, to be fair.
Yeah, that is banging, mate. That is just super.
Yeah. this is unreal. This is a show, to me, a show quality piece, and yeah, I'm not even going to say a lot about it. 395 fixed price, Dainichi Matsuba Gokai, 26 centimeters. Enough said.
So it's one of those varieties that I sort of fell in love with this variety years ago. We used to have a Deutsche Achiever at the shop that I used to work at called Charlie, and just became infatuated with this variety. It was so friendly, like had the perfect, just a beautiful fish, even though it was like grey and brown. There's something that drew me to it like all the time, and it's just one variety that I've always had a soft spot for. That tone of colour is just exceptional. I mean, often when you're pushing them on and it's warm and they're growing, the pattern is less obvious. It becomes quite dark. But then obviously as soon as they go into sort of cooler water, it reveals like the more truer sense of that color pigment. So yeah, it's mega fish. But I was at Kokai once with Rick. It's not a massive farm, and he's got quite a tidy small fish house, one of his fish houses. And we went into Tatigoi house in sort of January, February. There was snow everywhere. Went into this little tidy pond. It was just a literally put together like shack, really, with sort of polycarb walls and roof. And he had this pond that was maybe, I don't know, 20 feet in length by about 10 feet, and it was rammed with like the most insane Deutsch fish you'll ever seen. Harawaki, Deutsche Achiever, you name it, was all in there. And we were like, literally, can we hand pick? And he was like, no, Tatigoi. And we were like, oh, that's never a good sign. When a breeder says that, you've got no chance.
Yeah.
And this one Deutsche Achiever kept coming round, and it was like the pond was rammed as well. And Rick was not letting go of this fish. He was like, come on. And the guy was like, no, right, I don't want the net going in. And he got his way. He was like, well, if you could catch it first time, we'll have a look at it. He caught it first time.
Really?
Fish, yeah, just whipped it off the surface, put it in a bowl, and like all three of us were just like, that's insane. Like, just nuts. He does such a nice Deutsche Achiever. They are just stunning. You get this lovely tone, this lovely definition of pattern with them. And yeah, you don't even know what he paid for it.
Yeah.
It was obscene. So even these oddball varieties like this, they go for pretty significant sums if they're of the quality. So yeah, but you see in that video,
play it again.
That sort of skin, even quite subtly coloured fish, you still see that sort of skin quality using on that.
It's just absolutely awesome. And the scale line down the dorsal as well is just to die for. Really nice.
Very, very few and far between this variety, mate.
2 people in currently, so we get to spin the wheel. I don't know whether to go for a different sound effect or keep it the same this time.
Can we do like a custom?
That really boils my piss sound effect.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I had about 5 customers that told me they were in for this, so I think we have got a real lag going on here.
Really?
So yeah, probably in the interim period, we'll sort of drool over it for a little bit longer, but we've secured ourselves a wheel.
Yeah, we have. If you want to get on the wheel, all you have to do is reply in the comments.
So this is fixed price, $395. That's inclusive of any fees and VAT. So $395 is what you pay. Obviously, if you want direct delivery to your door, we can also facilitate that at £30 a box. So yeah, I think, yeah, what a little piece, mate. Beautiful fish.
Dave's just saying, just spin it. We'll give it a couple more minutes and then we'll spin the wheel. But yeah, really tidy piece.
Just really hard to get hold of, mate. Really hard, especially.
I think you confessed on the last live stream that it's your favourite variety. I think.
Did I?
I think you did, yeah.
Wow.
I think it's on video somewhere.
That must have been sales spiel, mate. Yeah, they are one of my favourite varieties. They've just got a bit of nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone's got that one variety that they sort of fell in love with the hobby, and this was one of those varieties that just, yeah, fond memories. And I know it sounds really, really soppy, but you know, when you just see a variety that just sort of makes you sort of grin and smile a little bit. They're like a cup of hot chocolate swimming around the pond, Joe.
Jesus, what a description.
They give me that lovely warm feeling inside.
Oh God. I'm looking through all these sound effects and trying to pick a good one. But it looks like we've only got these two in, so shall we play it one last time and see what we've got? I think people are going to be... Where's Michael McIntyre? I'm confused what he means by that. See where we're at. Dave Gardner, I have an Achiever at 94 centimetres.
Wow.
Bloody hell.
That is an absolute spectacle to see.
Yeah.
We'd love to see a little picture or video of that, Dave. That's unbelievable. That's a seriously big fish.
Right. Yeah, I can adjust the volume of it, so I don't know how crazy to go with this. Anyway, right. Let's see where we're at. So we're calling it here Mark Richards, Dave Gardner, 50-50 chance. Good luck, and we will spin the wheel.
Oh,
Dave Gardner. Well done.
Dave, another one. Oh, where's the sound?
Oh, it was just a bit of a thud, wasn't it? What an anticlimax.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, if you have any success of getting this one to 94 centimetres, that will be a feat. But well done.
Congratulations there, Mark. Yeah, beautiful little fish. But yeah, we'll be sure to follow up with these because I've got a few more bits tucked up our sleeves. So yeah, we'll hopefully have something in the pipeline for everyone. So yeah, as always, I've got a bottle of gin with my name on it, mate. So I'm going to go and do the honourable thing.
I can smell tea, and it smells amazing. So
yeah, liquid dinner for me tonight, mate.
Amazing. Well, what a good night that's been, guys. I've really enjoyed it, and back again next week with some really cool bits. I spent editing today, so I'm excited to show you what's coming.
Probably just a little plug as well. Oh, you beat me to it, Joe.
Sorry. If you're on your laptop or your TV now, you can scan this with your phone camera, and it'll bring up a link. Click that. That'll get you into our WhatsApp group, and yeah, Chris will accept you in if he's kind enough, and you can keep in touch with all things Chris. Yeah, I think you're gonna have to start setting up like an OnlyFans or something, mate. You're popular at the minute.
The saddest OnlyFans ever.
Only fins, I said. Only fins.
I'll be yeah. I'll be insolvent, mate, in a matter of hours. So yeah.
But no, keep in touch with there. We're releasing fish on there exclusively, and you get some behind the scenes bits of us. So yeah, it's nice to keep in contact with you whatever way we can. And yeah, we'll leave it there.
Cool. All right,
Right.
mate. I'll see you on the other side.
See you soon. Bye bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye. Bye. Bye.